All right. We'll call the Muskegon County Human Services meeting to order with a roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Foster.
Here.
Mr. Hovey Wright.
Here.
Chairman Hughes.
Here.
Commissioner Laring.
Here.
Commissioner Mahoney.
Here.
Commissioner Skolnick.
Here.
Commissioner Snyder. Commissioner Wilkins.
Here.
Commissioner Nash.
Here. And we have a quorum. Next up is the approval of the minutes for October 10th, 2020.
So moved.
Support. Support.
Any questions or corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor use the vote of saying aye.
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 All those opposed? And that motion passes. Next up is public comment on an agenda item. If there's anyone in the public that would like to have a comment on an agenda item, please raise your hand so we can acknowledge you. We have Tim Cross with his hand raised. We can let Mr. Cross speak.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
We can hear you.
All right, first of all, I'd like to say thank you. I understand that we're on here for an additional $20,000 in funding for the snow removal. I guess my little bit of a frustration, we've been dealing with this now for months. We asked for 86,000 to be able to service 100 seniors. And if I understand right, this 20 is just to December 31st. I guess I'm saying, why can't we fund this for the entire season? I could be misunderstood, but I thought this is just through December 31st. Why can't we just fund the full thing and get this done? I think we've already got 80 some people signed up for snow removal. And I would just love to see this not have to come back in January or the end of December and have to do this all over again. It seems like there was $600,000 left over, I believe, from last year's budget. There should be more than enough money to fund this and just get it funded for the entire season. So I guess I've just, as much as we've been dealing with this, it would just be nice to get it done so that we could go into the season knowing what we're dealing with. And I guess we've looked at the Farmer's Almanac. This is supposed to be a pretty rough winter. It'd be nice to have all this stuff done and not get to a certain point and tell people we don't have any more funding.
Commissioner Hovey Wright.
I'll respond to that.
Public comment. We don't respond.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry.
That is correct. Did we have anyone else in the public? I'm not seeing any other hands. Oh, yeah, no. Christopher Cross. Can we allow Christopher Cross?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much for allowing me to speak just momentarily. Just want to remind the commission that multiple different agencies and townships have reported the need for this snow removal program. Anywhere from other grant recipients that aren't able to deliver meals, or doctor's appointments and ride programs that can't do anything if the pathways and the driveways are cleared. Townships have reported, I believe it's a Fruitport Township, their survey said that this is the thing that seniors need the most. So we really appreciate the work on this, and I second the opinion that we need to push this through for the full winter, not piecemeal. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone else in the public that would like to have a comment? If so, please raise your hand. And as I look up and down the list, I don't see anyone else with their hand raised. So we will move forward. First item on the agenda is HS 20/11-30. Move to approve additional funding for fiscal year 21 in the amount of $20,000 for Living Word Church for snow removal. It's been moved
Second.
and supported. Open for discussion. Commissioner Hubby Wright.
Yeah, just to explain, the request was for 100 people to be plowed 20 times in a season at, I think it was $43 a time. And that we thought that we funded it for 10 times per season at $35, which was the going rate with the other people that do it. And it's not just through the end of the year, it's through September of 21.
Charles, or I don't know who's in charge.
Commissioner Skolnick, go right ahead.
Yeah, I just want to. This needs to be fixed, and I'll tell you why. They had originally gotten, I believe, $15,000. This request is for 20, so that's 35. They agreed that they could do the whole season for 75,000. So it just doesn't make any sense to come back right in the middle of the winter, right? I mean, it's prime snow time then. Maybe it won't snow, but there's likely it will. And then to come back and ask for it later. Another thing is, this isn't just like you plow somebody's snow. They're cleaning the sidewalk. They're doing handwork or snowblower work too, because they're cleaning the sidewalk up to the door and the steps and everything. So there's a little more to this. I would like to amend the motion to give them, instead of 20, fund the entire season. Instead of 20, make it 60. And
I'll support that.
Fund the entire season. I know this isn't the best way to do this. It's like it isn't ideal, but it is what it is right now, and this needs to be looked at next year. You can't fund snow plowing and stop in the middle of the winter. It just doesn't make
We're
sense.
not.
Well,
It's funded
Well,
until September.
blizzard.
Hold on. You're making a suggestion for amended motion. Who
Yes.
was the original motion maker?
Who made the motion? Who?
Mr. Skolnick made the amended motion and I supported it, Charles.
No, I did.
Okay, so the commissioner, yes, she did
Seconded
support
it.
it. Commissioner Skolnick, Commissioner Snyder, are you willing to accept that friendly amendment? Kathy, you may have to help me here.
Said yes.
He said yes. All right,
Correct.
and Commissioner Hubby Wright, are you willing to accept that amendment?
No.
Okay. So we're back to the original motion of $20,000. Any more discussion?
20 in addition to the 15 they already had.
I have a question on that.
Yeah.
I'd like to know,
Go ahead, Commissioner Hughes.
Marcia, can you tell me, are they expecting to add more funding at the next meeting? Or is this all they're supposed to get for their whole year?
I think they're supposed to get for the whole year. The biggest difference is they were assuming that everybody would get plowed out 20 times. And we thought that was excessive. Plus they were asking for more money per time than what we paid everybody else. So that was the big difference.
Okay.
So unless we figured it wrong, it works out to 20 plus.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Go ahead, Commissioner Foster.
Contracts for snow plowing are 20 pushes. I know I do 3 buildings, so I pay 20 pushes. That's an average all contractors use. So the 10 is only half a season.
Commissioner Scully.
I just wanted to say, I was in the snowplow. We were one of the biggest distributors of snowplows and ice control equipment in the entire state. I mean, we sold 600-700 snowplows a year. 20 times is what that's how they figure their business model is 20 times. If you're going to plow, and I'll stop after this. If you're going to tell somebody you're going to plow, then you should do the whole season, not say, okay, we're out of money and we're gonna stop. That's just
Well,
my,
I would accept, I mean, if that's true, we didn't know that. If you did it 20 times, that would be twice as much. So that would be 40,000, not 60. 40
Marcia,
and
I have a
15.
I have a question on that too. They don't get paid unless they actually plow, correct? They
Right.
don't get paid
Right.
Yeah.
20 pushes.
But we
they only
also
get-
want to tie up the money so that nobody else can get it.
But you're only talking $20,000 compared to $2 million worth of money.
Well, 2 million already set aside. It's already committed. So this is coming out of the money that was left over from last year. And can't guarantee that that's going to be there next year.
But this says approve additional funding for year 2021.
Right,
But it's left over from 2020 is what you're saying?
right.
Are they getting any money for
We get-
2021?
We allocated the whole 2 million that we had.
Okay.
And so the
Yeah,
additional money that's here on this today's agenda is from the money that was left over from last year.
Hold on. Is this more on?
Yes, I am.
All right, can you give a clear explanation on this funding resource? I mean, was it from what year? What year is it coming from? And how did we come to this figure?
So the senior millage dollars, any money not expended goes into a senior millage fund balance. So this would be coming from the available fund balance.
Can you give us the amount of that balance?
I have not received the final invoice amounts from Senior Resources, but it's estimated to be $600,000.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Commissioner Scott.
I'd just like to correct something. I think, Marcia, I think you said that it was $43. I believe the number was 40. But
the original one, they adjusted it. It was originally 43 and then it came down to, you may be right, it came down to 40, but the original one was 43. But we were paying 35, not 40. So that was, great, whatever.
I'm saying that we give them the total of 75. So they've already gotten 15. So we give them the rest of the 60 to go through the end of the season, and that would be the max. If it doesn't snow, the money goes back. The money goes back in the fund.
That's true.
So
And again, I'll support that motion.
I mean, I don't know what it's for. What are we, motion for what?
Well, we're
60,000.
We haven't
Well,
voted on anything yet, have we?
We haven't voted on anything, but they're looking for a friendly amendment to amend this for the 60 instead of the 20, which I think is probably a better idea. Otherwise, we'll have to vote this down and then come up with a new motion.
I
Correct.
will make that motion, Charles.
Mr. Skolnick already made it, Susie.
Mr. Stoning made the motion.
Okay,
We're looking
I will
for
support it.
So,
Now,
Mark,
is this
is that
motion
something you
to,
want to accept?
is this to do $60,000 for the whole year?
No,
This
no,
is
no.
60, 60 plus the 15.
Listen. There's a motion on the floor for the 20,000. Commissioner Schneider made the original motion. Commissioner Hovey Wright made the second.
Okay,
I'm asking Commissioner Hovey Wright if she's willing to accept that amendment,
And I said, no.
and she's not willing to accept that amendment.
So that
All right.
motion would die and we can redo a new one.
You could do a new one.
We have to vote on it first. It's on the table. Okay?
Can't be if there was no support, had a failure of support. She said no.
No. The original motion is still
the
on the
original
floor.
motion.
That was the amendment.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm with you now. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Mr. Chair, so
Yes.
if the rest of the commissioners are in favor of the higher amount, we should just reject the $20,000 one and make a new motion.
Well, that would be up to the motion maker. Is Commissioner Schneider willing to withdraw his motion?
willing to withdraw the motion.
Or we could ask Commissioner Hovey Wright to
Commissioner
remove her second.
Snyder has moved to withdraw the motion.
All
So
right, so that motion
clean
has
slate.
been withdrawn. And Commissioner Skolnick, would you like to state a new motion?
To approve the additional funding for fiscal year 21 in the amount of $60,000 for Living Word Church for snow removal.
I
And
will
I'll
support that.
Or Susie
All
can.
right. It's been moved by Commissioner Skolnick, supported by Commissioner Hughes, to move forward with a separate motion for senior services. It's the amount of $60,000 for Living Word Church for snow removal. Any other discussion?
Yes, I have a question, if I may,
Commissioner
Nance.
Larry.
What was the original request for the 2021 budget for snow removal?
I believe that was the 75 or 80,000, correct?
If I can tell you, the original request was for 86,000.
That's what I remember too.
And it also,
Okay.
it also included some equipment that we weren't, there's a policy against that
The one time.
after the first year, yeah.
So what we're approving, Commissioner Laren, is we already had approved the 15 that they could extend because they hadn't used it. And this is the additional 60 that would go with that, that would give them the amount of the full fund they were looking for the full year.
So, but
Total
they were asking for 86. So
Right.
we're still $11,000 short of the original request. I'm wondering if I'd like to make a friendly motion that we fully fund the snow removal program for fiscal year 2021 per the grant recipient's request.
May I,
Hold on, we got a motion.
is there a
Is there?
second?
I'll support that.
All right,
Okay,
Is-
we are
is-
now violating our policy because that their grant included money for equipment in the second year of funding. And the policy that we have is you get money for equipment the first year. Actually, we didn't want them to buy equipment anyway. We wanted them to rent it or to lease it.
okay, wait a
They
second, wait a second.
So
That is not an motion, that is an amendment request motion. Commissioner Skolnick, are you willing to accept that friendly amendment?
Actually, Charles, I'm not willing to accept it because the original 86,000 did include equipment.
All right, so that motion will fail since you're not accepting
And the
it. So we're back to the original motion. for
The
the
number,
60.
the motion that I made for 75 was the right number to do what they wanted to do for this season.
Right, but your motion at this time is for the 60.
60 on top of the 15 that they already got, so it's a
For
total.
Yeah, we
75
already-
total.
Right. I didn't want to confuse people. It's for the 60,000 instead of the 20,000. Any
Yeah.
other discussions? Seeing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
I think Snyder's trying to talk.
Kathy?
I can't get him to through my microphone somehow. Go ahead, Commissioner Snyder.
This just shows the difficulty of trying to manage on an individual basis when we should be just providing the money and letting the people make the decision, the designated committee make the decision.
He's going in and out.
yeah, I can't hear it.
I can't hear it.
He's basically talking about letting the committees make their decisions.
Okay. All right, any other
He said
discussion?
essentially that's correct.
Okay.
Did you want a
And I
roll
think
call?
he was in favor of, yes, he was in favor of that amendment prior to, so. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chairman Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Waring,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Even though I'm concerned about our process at this point, yes.
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder, Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright.
Yes, reluctant. I also am concerned about the process because we're not basing this on, any like calculations of, that was in the grant, and it's just sort of a number out of the sky, but I'm a yes.
Commissioner Nash.
Yes.
8 yes, 1 no.
All right, that motion passes. Next up is HS 2011-31.
So
Move
moved.
to approve
So
additional
moved.
fiscal year funding for the following congregate meals program, Cassian Township in the amount of 8,000, Egleston Township in the amount of 9,000, and Ravenna Township amount of $4,995, effective January 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2021.
So moved.
Second,
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Waring,
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
yes.
Chairman Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash.
Yes,
9 yes.
and that motion passes. Next up is HS 2011-32. Move to approve extending the fiscal 20-year senior millage funding for Alzheimer Association, balance remaining of $62,230 through December 31st, 2020.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? If not, we'll have a roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mahoney,
Yes.
Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Chairman Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash.
Yes.
9 yes.
All right, that motion passes. Next item on agenda is HS 2011-33. Move to authorize public health to accept funding for the Lakeshore Regional Entity in the amount of $35,000 for the provision of gambling disorder prevention project activities in Muskegon County effective October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021. And authorize the board chair to sign the related agreement.
So moved.
Support.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion?
I do have a question on this.
Alright, Chairman
Is this
Hughes.
money that can only go towards the gambling disorder prevention project? Because because the Lakeshore Regional Entity owes the county a lot of money, and I just wondered
No,
if
this is
different
separate
pot.
funding.
that's all it can go for. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Any other discussion?
Chairman Hughes, you knew the answer to that before.
I was just making sure.
Okay.
All right, no discussion. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Skolnick, Skolnick,
Commissioner
Bob, are you
Skolnick.
gonna vote?
Yes. Oh, are they waiting on me? Yes.
Yes.
I can't hear very well.
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Chairman Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash.
Yes.
9 yes.
All right, that motion passes. Next up is HS 20/11-34. Move to authorize public health, accept the funding from the Lakeshore regional entity in the amount of $30,000 to expand the provision of the Prime for Life Youth Program activities in Muskegon County effective October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2022, and further authorize the board chair to sign the related agreement.
So moved.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any discussion? All right, no discussion. I'll just say good money for good programs for our youth in this county. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Wilkins. Commissioner
I don't think
Wilkins.
she heard you.
Commissioner Wilkins.
Commissioner Wilkins, how you vote on this?
Yes.
Commissioner
I
Foster.
couldn't hear you.
Yes.
Commissioner Helly Wright.
Yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Yes.
Commissioner Laring.
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney.
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick.
Yes.
Commissioner Nash.
Yes,
9 yes.
great. That motion passes. Next up is HS 20/11-35. Authorize public health to accept funding from the Lakeshore Regional Entity in the amount of $410,000 for substance abuse prevention services in Muskegon County, effective
So
October
moved.
1st, 2020 to September 30th, 2021. And further authorize the board chair to sign the related agreement. Moved by Commissioner Wilkins,
Support.
Support.
supported by Commissioner Foster. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Wilkins.
Commissioner Wilkins, how you vote on this? Commissioner Wilkins, how do you vote on this? Did we lose her?
Foster.
I think we lost her. No, she's there. Commissioner Wilkins, can you hear us?
No, I didn't. I was trying to. Will you repeat that?
We're looking for your vote on this motion.
Oh, yes, okay.
You're voting
Commissioner
yes on this
Foster.
motion?
Yes, I did.
All right.
Yes,
she's voting-
Kathy.
Nancy, I'll call you back. I'm still in the meeting.
Helly Wright.
Yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Yes.
Commissioner Laring.
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney.
I'm glad to see the LRE has at least a few bucks. Yes.
Skolnick.
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder.
Yeah.
Commissioner Nash.
Yes. And just for
9 yes.
clarification, that money is kind of a pass through also. That's really not their money, but that's our
Yeah.
our PA $2 coming back to us. So yeah. Would be nice. if that
Liquor
was extra.
control tax money.
Correct. All right. Any old business come before this committee?
Yes, Mr. Chair, this is Beth Dick.
Yes.
I do have something I'd like to bring up under old business. Earlier today, I emailed out to all the commissioners an update, a proposed update to our COVID-19 preparedness and response plan. MIOSHA has issued some changes to our preparedness plan, some specific language that needs to be included. And I sent you out an email with red line changes to that plan. The board approved it, our original plan back in the spring. And there's some things that need to be updated on that based on these new rules. And Director Moore could go over with you some of the primary changes of what those changes, primary adjustments to that plan, what they were about. Kathy, if you would please provide that information.
Yes, so just the quick summary is that the initial plan was based on the governor's executive orders that was later determined to be illegal effective retroactively to April. The new plan incorporates the Michigan OSHA emergency rules as it relates to COVID-15. It also incorporates the emergency orders issued by Director Gordon of the Michigan Health and Human Services Department. In addition, it incorporates the 3 Senate bills, Senate Bill 6030, 6031, and 6032, which protects employers if they follow the MIOSHA rules and any other rules that are not deemed to be illegal. So these are adjustments. It actually shortens our plan, which is good. But one of the things it does require that if employees are feasibly able to work remotely, they should. The language prior was more softer, saying, you know, we should consider it. And that's my quick version, but I am ready to answer any specific questions if you have it.
Does anyone have any questions? No?
I will make a motion to accept the changes needed.
I'll support that.
And I was just making a suggestion that we all take time to view this before the full board meeting, before we
Yeah.
finalize it.
It's pretty detailed.
All right, any other questions on that? Who made that motion?
Commissioner
I did.
Hughes.
Yeah, I
Then
did.
Commissioner Hughes.
And who ordered it?
I did, sir.
All right. So we have a motion and support to accept this, the new MIOSHA standards. And we'll have a roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Leary,
No.
Commissioner Mahoney,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes,
Foster,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Chairman Hughes,
Yes.
and Commissioner Snyder.
Yes.
All right.
8
That
yes, 1
motion-
no.
That motion passes. Commissioner Hovey Wright, you had something?
Well, yeah, just I'm a little uncomfortable with passing this. I'm sure it's okay, but we haven't seen it. I mean, we just got
We
it.
just passed it in committee. We haven't passed it all the way through, so
Yeah, I know.
we have
It's
to
a
full
little.
board to figure.
Yeah, I mean, I sure hope that we look at it, and I'd like more, we need more time to look at these things before we vote on them even in committee. So that's just my request.
All right, any other old business to come before this committee? Well, we got old business or new business? Well, any other old business? All right, any other new business?
Mr. Chair, I just want to
Yes.
announce that we are canceling the transportation meeting for November 12th because there were no items to be considered.
Is that a motion?
I'll support that motion.
Yes. Okay.
All right, it's a motion and supported to cancel the transportation meeting due to lack of items. All those in favor, use the vote to say aye.
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 All those opposed? And that motion passes.
Thank
Any
you.
other new business? Thank you, Commissioner. Any other new business? We're next up is public comment on agenda items. Anyone in the public like to have a comment on agenda, any item? You can at this time. I see Pastor Cross with his hand up. We'll let Pastor Cross speak.
I would like to first of all thank the committee for the additional funding. And I know that a lot of things, you guys deal with a lot of things, and I just wanted to address just a couple things. We did not increase our rate. That we did ask for $86,000. It was $40 a push, and we didn't realize we're trying to deal with communication. We did put 6,000 for more just hard, plows and things like that, which we can deal with, but we have not raised our rate. And when Commissioner Skolnick last year said this could be 500 people, we went to actually some plow companies to find out what they would do it for. And they said to plow would be about $35 a plow, but we do more than plow. We take snow blowers and we clean the sidewalks and the steps and we got to make sure there's access from the house to the driveway and things like that. So, but that's where we're at. And just by way of information, on the lawn care side of this, which has been approved after last year, we dropped our price. We dropped out the price $10 a lawn to mow a lawn. So we have dropped things down, based on what our expenses are. We appreciate the increase, but I just wanted to communicate that. I know that Commissioner Hovey Wright sees a whole lot of stuff, and part of the thing I think my son will talk about is the ability to get to the access to that committee meeting to answer questions, because we haven't been able to seem to get to that committee meeting because there's been some things said that I don't think are being seen correctly that we could have addressed, so that there wouldn't be some misunderstandings about that. So I think if we could find some way to be able to get to those committee meetings more easily, we could have addressed some of these issues.
Thank you very much.
Be helpful, yeah.
And next up is Christopher Cross. Do we have Chris Cross able to speak?
Sorry, I'm here. Yeah, no, he covered it all. Thank you very much.
Oh, perfect. Anyone else from the police?
That's all I see, Charles.
That's it? Well, that is wonderful. We will move on to
Charles, are you up to 9 final board comments?
Yes, that's where we're at.
Okay, I'd just like to make a comment about something else. A good friend of mine who's an anesthesiologist and super healthy, runs multiple marathons. He does the Boston Marathon every year. He did I think it was the London Marathon. He's just plain in good shape. He got the COVID virus and he's in the ICU right now. And he's getting better. But anybody who thinks that virus isn't serious, a lot of people can get it and do fine. It's almost like they didn't have it, but it'll get you. So be careful.
We'll pray for him, Bob.
Mr. Chairman, may I?
Commissioner.
Mr. Charles, did you notice me?
Maybe she's not hearing me. Okay, go ahead, Commissioner Foster.
Okay, I just wanted to thank the commission for finally coming together on the senior money for the outer parts of the county, the east side of the county. I wanted to thank everybody. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Hovey Wright.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a comment similar to what Ken Mahoney said. I think the county commission needs to recognize that the senior activities committee starts with a lot more information than we have on the commission. They have the grant, they have the detail, the number of people served, the amount per served. There's just a lot more data that we have, and they do it. They do a responsible job. Now on the snow plowing, we didn't know that 20 snow plows a year was the common thing. And, we could have corrected that, but that's still, I just think there needs to be a little bit more, maybe assuming that the senior activities committee is doing their due diligence instead of saying that we know best, or, I think sometimes we make decisions that are political and not based on the facts. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I think the senior activities committee, in addition to the staff at Senior Resources, do a really good job. And we don't always have all the facts on the commission. So that's all.
All right. Any other board final comments?
Commissioner Nash,
Commissioner Mahoney?
just to follow up with Mr. Skolnick's comments, the COVID infections in the county of Muskegon are kind of going crazy at this point. Be very careful. We may have to do something in light of some sort of healthcare emergency eventually. It's spreading like wildfire.
Yes, it is.
And that's all of my comment.
All right. Any other commissioners have any final board comments? Commissioner Snyder, are we missing you? Doesn't sound like it. So I'll accept the motion for adjournment.
So
Support.
Been moved and supported. All those in favor, use the vote of saying aye.
aye.
We are adjourned.